Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This is Blacklight on Sports. My name is Charles Hallman.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Palmer McDonald.
And today or tonight, whenever you are watching this and hearing this, we have a young man who I've known pretty much all his life. He played high school sports, high school basketball, played college basketball, and now he's playing overseas. And we brought him with us today, Joshua Brown.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad that you have you here. We are, like I said, I've known you and your folks forever.
Yeah.
And just happy to have you here. But I wanted you to tell our people your journey as a basketball player because you got a rich journey that I think a lot of people like to know about.
Yeah, so my journey as a basketball player, like I started really young. I always grew up, so I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me. And so I would always like play up when I was younger on that team with our dad coaching. And so throughout the years, I would play with my brother, mainly my dad coaching, in my youth days, teaching me the fundamentals and that type of stuff. And then I went to Park Center High School. I was a late bloomer. I played ninth grade as a ninth grader. As a 10th grader, played JV. As a junior, I was like the eighth man on the team. And then as a senior, I started most games for our team. I didn't end, I didn't get that much recruitment. I didn't get 1,000 points scored in high school. But my main recruitment journey for me is after my junior year during that summer, going into my senior year, I did some elite camps, so some college elite camps. I went to the University of Minnesota Duluth elite camp. I lit it up there. That was the first time the head coach saw me play. After that, they had recruited me hard until I committed after my senior season. So then that senior season was during the year 2020, so we all know COVID happened. Um, our season got our season got cut short the day of our section final to make it to state, and then I committed shortly after. And so throughout that summer, like that was my preparation for going to college was COVID. And so I went to the University of Minnesota Duluth, and that first year we had a shortened season. We only played conference games. We played 13 total games, but it did not end up counting against our eligibility. And so I came into Duluth and I ended up earning a starting spot as a freshman. And so I started 5 years at Duluth. I did all 5 of my years there because I got that extra 13 games as a freshman. I'm top 10 all-time scoring at Duluth. And so I finished up there in 2025. I had around 1,700 points. And then, so this past year, I was looking to play pro. I got an agent, went through that journey, trained all summer, ended up getting signed this past November in 2025. Played a full season out in the Canary Islands in Spain. And so the Canary Islands, if you look at it on the map, it's located near Morocco. Um, it's islands, but they are belonging to Spain. And so I played in the league over there. I averaged, I want to say 29, 13, and like 3, 2, and 1. So I had a pretty good freshman pro season, rookie season, and then that's where I'm at on my journey right now. I'm looking to find a contract over this summer, just grinding, trying to get better, and staying in the gym.
And that was your first time playing overseas. Right?
Yeah,
So,
this was my first year.
so what was the adjustments that you had more than obvious, learning the culture and learning the language, but what some of the unobvious things that you had to adjust to over there?
Yeah, like you said, some of the obvious adjustments, like when I first got over there, uh, people mainly spoke in Spanish, so that was the main thing. That's a big adjustment. And the culture, that's a big adjustment, like you mentioned. Some of the smaller adjustments it was just adjusting to my role within the team. I think every team that you're on, your role is going to be different. Every team has a different set of players. And so, what I need to do to help my team win changes on a year by year and game by game basis. And so, finding my groove on my team, we were a really young team, so I had to do a lot more than was previously asked of me. We ended our season 11-7, but I ended up mainly I led the team in all five statistical categories. We were a really young team, like I said. And so I think that was a big adjustment is finding out what I needed to do to help us win as many games as possible on the court. And then off the court, a big adjustment for me was living on the other side of the world and just kind of being by myself a little bit. I had my roommates, I had my teammates. We cultivated a good environment where I lived. Within our roommates, we know we had that shared space where we were out there on the islands by ourselves. And so just figuring out how to live in that space, I think it really matured me in a short time span because I knew that there wasn't really much of a safety net. While I didn't have that many responsibilities other than just performing on the basketball court, which was nice mentally for me, not having that many responsibilities, but just the fact of living over there on my own, not having my parents within distance, like being a 6 hours ahead time difference. And so really just the isolation, what I would say was the biggest thing off the court.
Mhm. And you are, or as your shirt indicates, you are a member of the Lynx practice squad. We talked about that in our article we did on you. But talk about your journey of participating with some people would say maybe one of the best teams, if not the best team in the WNBA.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're the best team in the league. I think we've been the best team in the league. We have the best coach in the league, and we have one of the best programs in the league. And so for me, like you mentioned, you did a quick story about it. But last summer, I was just around, kind of grinding, preparing myself for when I get that contract. And so Tim Gill, one of my dad's former players, who he's always been close with, had reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to hoop. I think they had needed one or an extra guy. And so I went in. He had sent me the address. I didn't know what I was going into, but when I got there, I was going into the Lynx practice. And so that's what it ended up being. I went in there with a good mindset, a positive mindset, just trying to figure out what was asked of me and then trying to perform what was asked of me to the best of my ability. And so going in there, I talked to Tim after that day, and they had said they had liked me. They added me to the group chat. And so last season, I would go whenever it was available with my schedule. And so I've been going as well this season. And it's been nice to go in there. That's a place where I really feel like I can just absorb a lot of things that they talk about, especially IQ wise, some of the different schemes that they do, some of the different things that they ask of me. I feel like I can be a Swiss Army knife just because, in the women's game, I'm 6'4". A 6'4" player in the women's game can be a center, but in the men's game, I play one or two. I play the guard position. And so I'm in there and I have guard skills and guard IQ, but I'm also playing whatever they need me to play. So a lot of times I play like the three or the four, but I can guard 1 through 5. And so I just do whatever's asked of me. And so I think that's something that helps me be of good use to them,
Mhm.
just like my basketball IQ and whatnot. And so that's kind of how it's been with me for the Lynx. I have nothing but positive things to say about it.
Is it-
So, so by you participating, I mean, you're listening to everything that's being said. You're kind of seeing everything behind the scenes, and your basketball knowledge is expanding. So where I guess I'm asking where where you're a guard, But now you're learning how other, like the forward and the center, play different positions and how they do things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think as a basketball player,
Mm-hmm.
I've always tried to absorb information, and so I know how different schemes work. I know like what you're looking for from a center on certain pick and roll defenses
Mm-hmm.
already as a guard, because I know as a guard, like if I'm a, because mainly for me in college, I was mainly an on ball defender. I
Mm-hmm.
would usually guard the point guards. And so, like, as an on ball defender, you have to know in your mind where everybody's going to be at behind you because you can't see them. And so I already kind of knew like what the center's responsibilities were on screening and like different things that they had to do. And but this time it's just I'm actually implementing that as
Okay.
the different position would be played. And so just seeing it from a new perspective, seeing it through the women's lens, through the WNBA lens,
Mm-hmm.
and just, the different positional lenses as well.
Now, when you were in high school or maybe college, when did you think seriously? How can I put this? Okay, we all of us here played high school basketball, and then I know I dreamed of going to the NBA. When I was like in junior high and all that, I'm
Yeah.
going to the NBA, and we all dreamed that when we're playing. When did you realize that playing pro ball would be like, oh man, like a possibility? Like when did it just hit you and say,
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned earlier, I was a really late bloomer.
mm-hmm,
I think my sophomore year of college is when I really felt like within myself, I personally believed, okay, I'm gonna use these years, get my degree, and then after that, I think I want to continue playing until I can't anymore, continue
okay,
playing because I felt like I had the skills to make some money off of this.
okay,
I know you had mentioned the matchups that you are playing
mm,
against it when you were at Lynx practices,
yeah,
and you talked about how Natasha Howard and Olivia Miles, their chemistry has seemed to was there from day one, and they both are going into the All-Star game as starters. So talk about them because people see them, they see the finished product obviously in the game, but you see them when they really are working and sweating and all those type of things. Then also talk about what you get and see from Cheryl Reeve, who just went into the Hall of Fame a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Okay, so I can touch on kind of all three. I mean, like you see the work that they put in on a game by game basis. I think every team has a different ball screen coverage. And so, like one thing that those two specifically, including Cheryl, what they'll do in practice, you can see how they're running through, right? We're implementing the defense that they're gonna see, and then they're going through how they want to attack it,
mm,
right? And so whether it be a hard hedge or a double team on Olivia Miles, the coaches will tell us what they're looking for from us. And then when we go out there and do it, when there are teaching moments, Cheryl will stop them. Um, without going into too much detail, like, and she'll talk to Olivia, she'll talk to the team, and specifically point out, okay, here's what this player is doing. Like, I guess this will come out later in the year, so it won't matter if I say this. But like this game tonight against the Connecticut Sun, one thing that they're specifically focused on is the Connecticut Sun have really tall players. They have Brittany Griner, the all-time leader in blocks, and they have another person who's like 6'5" playing the four. And so one thing they did in practice is if people got offensive rebounds, everybody on the sideline would yell trees at them. And what trees means is like they have a lot of big players in the paint. So when you get that rebound, instead of going right back up, you know that this game specifically, they have really good players down there that are going to block your shot.
Mm-hmm.
They're yelling trees at them, trying to get that muscle memory, get the rebound, kick it back out. And so that's just an example for today's game. But like every game, it's something different that they're specifically focused on how they can attack the other team.
And then you said the the demandingness, if there's such a word, that Cheryl has with her players, yet they play for her hard. They play for her, and they seem to have a lot of respect for her, and she seemed to have a great deal of respect for them. But just the demandingness of her, and in practice, I'm assuming she's probably more demanding than because she's trying to, like you said, she's stopping things to get things right. But what been impressed with you about that from her?
For me, I think specifically, you might think about a pro environment. You know, throughout basketball, when you're messing stuff up, your coach is going to put you on the line and make you run for it just to get you to refocus. And so you might not think in a pro environment the coaches will be as tough. These are pro players. Maybe they have it all down by now. But like with Cheryl, she demands perfection. If they're doing something wrong, they got too many turnovers, she's instantly get on the line, we're running. And the players respond. They're not getting butt hurt because the coach is making them run. They know that, okay, we're messing up. We got to refocus. She's making us get on the line, run this line. But like just the sternness and the demandingness and the unwavering want for perfection, I think it translates to everybody in the building. Like they know what's expected of them on a day by day basis, not just in the games, but it's not going to translate in the games if you don't do it in practice. And I think Cheryl, as the leader of the program, having that unwavering demand really affects everybody's level of play to be higher.
Now, what did you get your degree in?
I got my degree, so my degree is in sociology. I have a major in sociology, a major in communication, and a minor in coaching. And so with my fifth year, I added my major of communication. And so I have a double major and a minor.
You've been working with young kids too, young players. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, I've been training a high school team over this past summer and just working with some young kids. It's a rewarding experience working with the youth because specifically at those younger ages, you can see their development on a drill by drill basis. Like with older kids, you might not see it as much. It might be a lot smaller, finite details, but with younger kids, as you're really teaching them fundamentals and you're teaching them IQ and concepts, you can see how they're picking up and learning different things and getting better at drills, being able to move faster with the ball, being able to make more layups, being able to finish drills a lot quicker. And so, with kids specifically, I think it can be more rewarding because you can see the progress in a kid's mind and in a kid's how they act a lot more than you can with older people, I feel like.
Have you thought about coaching as a profession? Maybe like when you're done playing basketball.
Yeah, I have thought about it. I definitely have.
What
And
level?
that's still to be determined. I don't know. I don't know. Like I like to train younger kids, but
Okay.
I feel like on a coaching level, I would want to be a lot higher level,
Mm-hmm.
to where I can implement a lot more, and use my IQ a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely something that I've thought about, something that it's in the back of my mind when I'm like we've talked about the way Coach Cheryl Reeves coaches. You know, like when I become a coach, I want to use some of the different coaching things that I've seen and learned from some of my coaches throughout my life. Like I just want to give a shout out my dad,
Mm-hmm.
Coach Brown,
Mm-hmm.
my college coach, Coach Wick,
Yeah.
one of my other college coaches, Coach Casey Brueggemann,
Yeah.
my high school coach, Coach Ware, and obviously the Hall of Famer, Coach Cheryl Reeve. I think the way that I coach when I become a coach will be a combination of the positives I see in everybody around me.
Man. So if as you think back, I'm saying as you think back like you're 35 or something, but as you think back on your career, are there any moments that stand out? Any games? Any It could be in a practice. It could be, you know what, I remember when we did this, or I remember when we won this game or lost or whatever.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's really cliche, but it's really true.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I really look back, I don't look back as much as on the wins and losses, but really the journey on how we got there
Mm-hmm.
and knowing my favorite team is the team we won. We made it to the Elite Eight. We won the region up at Duluth.
Mm-hmm.
And what really stands out about that team is in the middle of the season, I would say that's the most turmoil a team
Mm-hmm.
in my college career had.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the fact that how we got over that hump and how we came together back as a team, which allowed us to do something that no team has ever done in the history of Duluth.
Okay.
And so I really think that's what I look on.
Mm-hmm.
And then a specific moment I would say is when we won that regional chip, I made a free throw with like 50 seconds left in the game, which gave me my 1000th point.
Hey.
Mm.
And so that was like two birds with one stone. I got
Yeah.
my personal accomplishment
Yeah.
along with our best team accomplishment in the same minute.
Yeah. That had to really be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, your father made a point to come to as many games as you could your senior year. How important that was to see both your father, I believe your mother did the same thing, to come see you, not just in Duluth, but also at your other games when you were on the road.
Yeah. It's really important for me. Um, this past season, he wasn't able to make it out there because I was all the way on the other side of the world. But, as I mentioned, he was my first coach. He taught me all the fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
And just having those people there that you have, love you and you have a lot of love for me, it helps motivate me seeing, the most familiar faces in the crowd and hearing them cheering me on before, during, and after the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really important for me. I know when I have a son or daughter, I'm going to do what I can to be at as many games as possible, cheering them on, giving them positive energy and positive attitude. And so I think that's something that my dad was really good at is just being there for us. And so specifically, like you mentioned, you're good friends with him, knowing he tried to make as many basketball games as he could.
I remember came up there to watch you play. I think he was in the I think he was in the Elite Eight, maybe when I can't remember now. Oh, came up there. Your father drove me up there with, and your one of your assistant coaches, kid that played for me, and I didn't know that till he was there. That was fun to not only see you play, but also see him coach,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fun. And then so that was just fun. It was fun just being there, and for me, not having to coach, just sit there and watch a game and not write about it. That was fun as well. You talked about the Canary Islands, and is that would be your first choice back when you go back in the fall?
Well, first of all, shout out Coach TP, Tyler Peterson.
Fine.
That's who he's talking about. And for me, I think that's still up in the air. I would definitely be open to returning to the Canary Islands. I don't have many bad things to say about where I was.
Mm-hmm.
My living was good, the culture was really good, and if I go back, I kind of already know Spanish since I was forced to learn it a little bit living over there and knowing the culture already. But at the same time, I'm still really open to the process of seeing what it's going to be like in year two. I know what my year one process was. I didn't really get any good offers until then. And so I'm not going to rush and jump on the fact that I know that's what I want to do because I'm still feeling out how
Mm-hmm.
this process goes.
And how's working with an agent? How is that for you?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. just trying to, do what I can to help my agent by putting on the best performance I can when it's time, staying prepared throughout the summer. And so working with somebody else that's going to has the responsibility of getting my contract offer, what I do to ease my mind is I just try and focus on what I can control, having the film ready for him to send out when it's time, putting on the best performances I can during the season, and then being prepared in the summer, working out as much as I need to, as much as my body allows, so that I will be prepared when the next season comes. And so, working with an agent, I think the main thing for me in every aspect of what I do is focusing on what I can control.
Uh, you neglect to talk about your last game that you played in. You want to share that?
Yeah, I'll share. So, as you said, my last game in the Canary Islands, I ended up scoring 51 points and having 25 rebounds. And yeah, it was just a game. You you know what the zone is, but like you can't,
You were in one.
yeah, you can't really predict when it's gonna happen. And that game, it was just I had prepared all season. I worked out every day, Monday through Friday, no matter what. I would wake up, and the first thing I would do is go to the gym. And so during that last game, I felt like all the work came together. I played as hard as I could. My teammates fed me the ball, and the shots that I was making at about a 60% on the season, I ended up making that game at about an 80% clip. And so just that little bit of difference, that being in the zone, I ended up having 51 points. I didn't I didn't even know that I was playing that good until there was a point in the game where one of my teammates told me I had like 48 when I was at the free throw line. And from there I was like, "Oh, let me just get one more bucket and then I can come out the game." And so, yeah, that was the most I had scored in my life, but I feel like it was just a culmination of all the work that I put in
How would you feel right after? Like
right
when it was
after.
all, like when it was all, like when it was all over, and did you win you won the game?
Yeah.
All right. So how did you immediately feel if you look back after that? I know how I would feel if I scored
Yeah.
51 points.
I mean, I felt great. Obviously, like we talked about, it was the last game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it was bittersweet, but it was exciting. You know how I had been over there for 6 months. I was ready to get this last game over with. Unfortunately, we were eliminated from the playoffs. We ended up missing the playoffs by one game.
Oh wow.
So this was a game that didn't really matter for the standings per se.
Mhm.
But, last game of the season, game finished up. They told me I had 50. So I had to really just check the box score myself to see it. So that's when I saw that I also had 25 rebounds. So after seeing that,
Uh-huh.
I was just in the parking lot calling my mom and dad, like, guess what I did this game?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. And just knowing that a few days later I would be able to come home and see my people that I hadn't seen in so long. And
Mm.
so it was a great feeling.
You have a tape of it?
I do.
Okay.
I do have a tape of it.
Man,
I
boy,
have the game
you got
tape.
something. You got something to show, man. Can't nobody talk too much stuff to you.
Yeah, I
All you
do
gotta do is
have the
take that out
game
and
tape.
say, "Just watch. I'll be back. Just watch."
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
uh, you talked about being a late bloomer, and was there any other sports that you played before you got really into basketball?
Yeah. I actually played football, baseball, and basketball up until seventh grade, and then after seventh grade, I only played basketball because that was just the one that I enjoyed the most. But I was a baseball player, pitcher, center field, shortstop, quarterback. wide receiver, safety, basketball, two guard, and then just basketball after the 7th grade.
Looks like that choice is working out for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's what I love the most.
Well, it's great seeing you and your brother grow. I remember when y'all was little and y'all used to run around all the time,
Yeah.
driving your father up the wall and your mother up the wall when I was visiting and stuff. But it's good to see that. And it was also great to see you playing in college. I didn't get to see you play high school ball. I got to see you play in college, and that was fun. Like I said, your father and I have been friends for a long time, so it was good to see him. If you ever see his father, when he's sitting in the stands, he don't sit in the stands. He's moving all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can hear
Yeah.
his voice very loud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Well, we always ask our guests before we wrap things up to share with our readers what we call pearls of wisdom. Anything that you feel that on your heart, on your mind, that you want to share with our listeners and our viewers, you have the floor and the platform now.
Yeah. I would say the one gem I dropped it during the interview is just having a self-reflection and a uh personal focused mindset, trying to control what you can control and trying to stay within the limits of what you mentally know that you are responsible for. I think as a person, uh, and as a human, like the hardest times of my life and the times where I lost focus, the times where I was having trouble mentally, physically, emotionally, is when I started thinking about the things that were outside of my own bounds. And so, the one thing I would personally say that has worked out very well for me is just the saying control what I can control, focus on my own self, focus on my own attitude. The attitude that I go into situations, trying to have a positive attitude, focus on the energy I give and the energy I give off, trying to have a positive energy, positive attitude, and just being thankful for waking up every day. Sometimes some days are harder than others, but just trying to give my 100% of what I have to give on a day by day basis. Some days my 100% might only be 80%, but that's still 100% of what I have to give today. And so trying to, stay on those key things is what's helped me within my life.
Well, we're definitely glad that you was stop by. We had your father on some time ago. He wasn't that good. but,
I'm staying out of it. Yeah.
but we're glad and very proud of you and what you're doing. And I know the Lynx definitely appreciate your efforts and working with it. I think a lot of people don't know that most WNBA teams have practice play because it helps them to be able to game plan without having to without having using half of their team against a half of their team.
Yeah.
And I think women's basketball made that more popular, having male
That's very true.
practice players.
That's very true.
I know the Gophers had done it for many years. It just helped. It helps a lot. It takes the wear and tear off of their players
Yeah.
because they don't have to worry about being light, not being in whatever you say, not being able to do things they want to do against an opponent because of their teammate,
Yeah.
as opposed to now they're going against an actual opponent, and so that's good. And we hope you and wish you success and wherever
Yes,
you're
we
going to
do.
go.
Yep.
Canary Islands. If you go back there, the weather's pretty good over there. Isn't it?
Yeah, the weather is great over there.
Well, you have to take
If you
me
go
up.
back, there, make sure you go for 52 points. We gotta
I
keep
got you.
keep that going.
Keep it going up.
Yeah, we gotta keep that going.
Most definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Joshua Brown. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate the conversation.
No problem at all.
So this has been Blacklight on Sports. As again, we always try to bring someone to you that has an impact on our community and may not get the shine that they deservedly should get, and we hopefully that you'll be able to get that from listening to our guests. My name is Charles Hallman.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Palmer McDonald.
We ask you to join us again in the future. Please continue to read us in the paper every week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.